What up, guys? Doing an update. About time he slowed down. Jesus. Speed limit 75 and this trucker is doing like 80, yo. Anyway. Update. Had to go back and do my road test again, as you guys know from the prior video. I passed it this time. The instructor I had, I guess my last instructor was just being a butt or was just nitpicking or something, because the lady I had today, we did it the same way we got trained in the academy as far as air brake wise and stuff like that, and backing up. When you back up into the 90 or any backing maneuvers, but particularly on a 90, because this is where the guy got me last time. He's like, on the 90 you got to pull up, have your thing straight, and you have to have this equal amount of space from the cone to the trailer on both sides. Now I did it today with the lady, and she said, no, you don't have to do that. She said, as long as you get it in there, and as long as you don't go out of bounds or hit no cones, and you have your tractor straight with the trailer, as straight as possible, you're good. So past that, the air brake part, now with the guy, he said, do your air brake stuff. I went to go push in my yellow button and to tug against the trailer to make sure they're holding up, and he stopped me. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm doing my air brakes. He's like, that's how they train you at the academy? I said, yes. He's like, no, we're not doing that. Do your air brake part. So I was confused. So I asked him, I was like, well, what do you mean do your air brake part? And he said, you gotta listen to air lossage. And I was like, okay. So we started with that, and we never did check the service brake or any of the other brakes with him. Now with her, I asked her before I started because I didn't want to fail. I said, now, how do you want me to do the air brake test? Because last time I was here, the guy that gave it to me wanted me to start with the air lossage, and we didn't even do any of the tugging parts. She replied, with the air brake components, or whatever she said, there's 3 parts to it. Is that cop sitting there? No, he's not. Okay. There's 3 parts to it. So once she said that there's 3 parts to it, I knew exactly. I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do it just like the academy trained me. Push yellow button in, pull, pull it back out, push red button in, pull forward, and then pull your buttons back out and push them both in, pull forward, check the service brake, make sure there's no play in the steering wheel, all that, blah, blah, blah. Cool. She was much nicer, and she, I don't know what the other guy's deal was, or maybe each person does it a little differently, but I will say that if you have your CDL permit and it's getting ready to expire, make sure you renew it before you do your DMV test, because when I went to take it the first time, X, Y, and Z, I could have renewed it then, but I didn't know that whatever you pass on that test, like I passed everything except for the 90 degree backing on the very first test I took, and once you renew your license, North Dakota law is they erase everything you passed. I didn't understand it. I was mad and frustrated. My instructor was mad, and he didn't understand it either. I talked to multiple truck drivers, including my dad. He was PO'd about it. He's like, that makes no sense. And I agree with him. I was like, yeah, it don't, because having them go in and just change a date on the license, that shouldn't affect or have anything to do with them going back into the system and erasing what you passed. But it's North Dakota, so they kind of can do what they want. So that's that. I got my CDL license. I'm happy. It's been a struggle. It's been a journey, a crazy, stressful journey. But now I got a little bit of weight off of my shoulders, and now we're going into the next step, which would I got to talk to my recruiter and figure out this money situation, because I don't know if they can't raise the flat rate of $500 a week guaranteed, and then and then continue to give me the $8 an hour of anything over 40, then I don't know if I'll be able to continue my journey with that company, because I'm not in a company, I'm not an employee right now. I just went to their school, but there's no way $500 a week flat and then $8 an hour for anything over 40. Like that's real lowballing it. I talked to people about that, a lot of truck drivers, and I added it up myself, and that's a low amount. Like, I could go get a Class B job right now and make more than what they're offering for that training period. You would think they offer a decent amount with you having to leave your life and leave your family behind. Is this 256? To leave your family behind. So I asked my instructor that, and he told me I had to contact my recruiter to talk about that. So I'm hoping to hear back from my recruiter so he can figure out what's going on there. Because somebody did some calculation for me, and they rounded it out to, like, you would make like 12 something an hour driving or something, and then $8 an hour for anything after 40. You don't get time and a half, you don't get nothing like that. $8 an hour for anything after 40. That's really low, guys. I ain't even gonna lie. That's low. And I knew that in the academy. Once they said it in the academy, like I said in one of my videos, the owner was in there, and he flat out, once he announced it, and I kind of told him, nicely to his face, like, that's low. Like, yeah, you're giving people $500 regardless if they work or not while you're with your mentor for the first 40 hours, and then anything after the 40, you're getting $8 an hour. Not getting overtime, not getting time and a half, just $8 an hour flat. And that's not even a guarantee, because like he said, if you don't work, yeah, you're getting $500 for your first 40. That's set. First 40 is set, but you gotta think about it. That's all you're gonna get. If you're waiting for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks for a mentor, you're only gonna get $500 for each week. Then you gotta think about it. Then you gotta go over the road for at least a month with your mentor, so you're gonna only be getting $500 for that. Then you're guaranteed, $8 an hour times 30, because they usually want you to work 70 hours a week. You're just getting $8 an hour times 30. You times that and then tell me what you get. You're gonna come up to like 7 something. Is that gonna be enough to support everything you need for your family while you're away from your family? Is it gonna support your rent, your bills? If you got a spouse like me, are they gonna have to become a stay-at-home parent? Because in my case, yes, that would be the case. Because luckily, I got a spouse who is letting me do my dream first and get my career knocked out before he focuses on his career, and he's willing to quit his job knowing he doesn't want to quit his job, that he's getting a good paying job, so let me do what I need to do. So I'm grateful for him, but there's a lot to think about, guys. Just look into the money, look over all your finances stuff, and like I said, I'm gonna have to talk to my recruiter and see what they can do, if they can up the wage. If not, then I gotta keep looking. But the hardest part is done. I got my CDL license. I would suggest people to go to Swift Academy, because I feel like it's a good school. There was things that I felt like could have changed, but like they stated, the lead people and the instructors just got there because the old ones got fired or quit in February. So they've only had a couple months to kind of figure out how to do things. So for that being said, I feel like they did a good job, and I would recommend people to go there. That's just me, though. But let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. I know the DMV in the DMV in North Dakota, when you go to take your road test, you have to pay $5. If you have your medical card, bring it. I always bring mine, because you're always supposed to have it with you. Bring that, because she said they got you down for a 3, and if you have your medical card, you can be a 1. I didn't understand what she meant. And I was like, well, what are you talking about, 3 and 1? She's like, well, 3, without your medical card, if you keep it like this, you can't cross into other states. You would have to, you have to stay in your home state. But since you have your medical card with you, I can make a copy and scan it, and then we can up your license to 1, which you can cross state lines and not have no restrictions. So we did that. It's an $8 fee, which is fine or whatever. It might not have been $8 fee. It might have been $8 fee because they had to reprint it. But all I know is she said $8, so whatever. Cool, boom. Trying to think. Some of the roads they took me on were very narrow. But take your time, kind of plan it. Make sure you look both ways always. Always look, keep your head moving. While you're sitting at a stop sign or a red light, always try to look up each road and down each road, try to figure out where the speed limit sign is. So that way when she asks or he asks, you'll know. Look at every name of the road, the signs, of course, they train you how to do this. Make sure you do it because it's on the test. She even asked me at one point, like she's supposed to, what's the speed limit? 35, because we literally just passed the sign. 35. So, okay. So, I'm trying to think what else, guys. The only downfall I thought with the academy that I think they need to improve, and I know they're working on improving because I talked to them about it. They need to get a third-party instructor in there to do the DMV testing there, so that way you guys don't have to deal with what our class and what the prior class dealt with, as far as completing your 3-week course and then getting sent home and having to wait weeks upon weeks, and then dealing with the DMV pushing your appointments back even further and all that crazy mess that I had to deal with, and some other people from the academy also had to deal with. And then you wouldn't have to deal with instructors like I had to deal with. I know one guy on my 3rd week there, he got back to the class because he failed, but he failed because the instructor took him down the wrong road, because the instructor is the one that's telling you, well, the DMV instructor, the instructor is the one that's telling you where to turn, when to turn, all that. So he didn't make a wrong turn, and then the instructor told him to go down the road, and he took him down the road that trucks shouldn't be on because they can't make turns. So he took the turn like he was supposed to do, and then he couldn't make it, and he told the instructor, the DMV guy, that he couldn't make the turn, and he was like, okay, well, you're gonna have to back up. So he listened to what he was being told, and then the instructor failed him for backing up and blocking traffic or something with that. My instructors were PO'd. He was PO'd because he was at that last turn before they were about to go back to the DMV, I guess. But that's why they're pushing to get a third-party person there, so we don't have to deal with stuff like this. Because, like I said, I guess my first guy, I guess he was just nitpicking or doing something his way. I don't know. But the lady I had today, we did everything like the Swift Academy taught us how to do. Except the Swift Academy did not teach us that you're supposed to flip the tractor back around and line up with your trailer. But that's not their fault, because they called North Dakota's DMV twice. First week I was out there and the last week I was there. Just to clarify, everything that they're doing in Minnesota is the same way as what they're gonna. That's what they told him. It's gonna be. She's gonna be trained. We do it. They said, for their words, we do it the same way you guys do it. The only difference is she is not gonna have a 5-minute time period to get the backing into the cone, or get her backing in, and she's not gonna have no boundaries. They ain't saying nothing about flipping the truck back and everything. So on their part, they was like, okay, cool, we'll train her how we're training these guys. I think if they knew that you were supposed to, for this state, flip the truck around and have it straight in the 90 to pass, I think they would have had me doing it. Matter of fact, I know they would have had me doing it. So I don't blame the academy for that. Although it was heartbreaking and stuff, but I don't blame the academy for that. But yes, I think I would definitely refer somebody out there, or people out there. I think the price for the academy, since you're only going to be training on automatics, definitely needs to go down, and that's something I'm going to bring up with my recruiter to see if they did drop the price, because $6,000 and up was like $6,750 because I had that room and board. $6,750 for just being trained on automatics. That's kind of outrageous, guys. Like, I talked to a lot of people, you know, that's way outrageous. It's usually supposed to be cheaper when you're getting trained on, or when you're going to have a restriction on your license. So I stayed with it because I really wanted a license, and like I said, if I ever get the opportunity to get drive a manual and be able to test in a manual, I can go to the DMV and test in a manual and get that taken off my license. So my main goal was license, and get the license for my family so I can provide for my family and do stuff with my family and stuff like that. But go for it, guys. That's it pretty much. Now Swift is wanting to know when I'm coming back and when they can put me out on the road with my mentor. I told my head instructor guy, I said I have to talk to somebody about the money thing, and he's the one that told me that I have to talk to my recruiter about that. And like I told you guys, I said that's going to determine whether or not I get to stay, or I will stay or not, because if they're only doing $500 a week flat and then only $8 an hour, I can't survive on that. I can't survive on that. If it was just only my bills, yeah. But if your spouse has to quit their job and then you have to go over the road, you gotta encounter their bills, and you gotta make sure there's money for food for them, there's emergency money put aside, all that. So if they're willing to up the rate, because the rate is pretty low, but if they're willing to up the rate, I will probably go with Swift. But that's the only way possible, because I calculated all our bills and combine them together, and we're looking at $3,600 some dollars total in bills, and with that wouldn't even cover it. So, but y'all feel free to hit me up whenever. I'll be glad to kind of help you guys through. Hopefully you guys can kind of have more of a guidance than what I had, and kind of know a little bit more of what you're going to get into than what I did. So y'all be safe, and maybe I can answer a few questions from y'all.